One day as I was walking along the heavenly road, my Savior spoke unto me and filled my heart with love. He's so high, you can't get over him. He's so low, you can't get under him. He's so wide, you can't get around him. You must come in by and through the Lamb. I'll take my gospel trumpet and I'll begin to blow. And if my Savior help me, I'll blow wherever I go. He's so high, you can't get over him. He's so low, you can't get under him. He's so wide, you can't get around him. You must come in by and through the Lamb. In the last couple of moments that I have with you, I want you to realize, or rather the Lord wants you to realize, that who you have standing before you right now is nothing but a worm. I'm just a worm. What do I mean by that? One day I was asking the Lord, as I was having one of those days in the kingdom where things weren't exactly happening the way I thought they should, I said, Lord, why did you choose me to be a priest? I could think of about 20 other men that you could have called. Why me? And I came across this comic strip that has this motorist who's pulled over on the road for speeding. And as he's giving over his license and registration to the patrolman, and he's, doing everything, he gets it back, and he says, as the officer's walking away, he says, "Officer, don't get me wrong, I realize that I was speeding. I was speeding. But what I don't get is why am I the only one that was caught? Because they had guys, I was doing 80, I admit that. I was doing 80 in a 70-mile-per-hour zone, okay? But they had people who were way in front of me. They had to at least have been going 90 miles per hour. Why didn't you catch anybody other than me? I'm the only one that you stopped." And so the officer has a smile in his face after he hears this expression. And he says, "Can I ask you a question?" "Yes." "Do you go fishing? Do you like going fishing?" He says, "Yes." "What does that have?" But he's kind of perplexed. "What does that have to do with anything?" "Do you ever catch all the fish?" And he told the officer no. To which the officer smiled and said, "Yeah, you're right. There were a lot of them that got away, but I've got you. And since I've caught you, I'm going to use you as an example for those that got away." Beloved, I used to always tell my parishioners in my second assignment at Violet, at Our Lady of Lourdes and Violet in Lord St. Bernard, they used to say, "Father, you made me cry today. You made me cry today." I said, "No, not me. It's not my fault. I simply shared with you the message that the Lord gave to me. I says, I'm just the fisher of the man. I just fish you, I catch you, and I throw you on the boat, and he cleans you up." After Katrina, I went up into Canada to do some appeals. I was invited to do a couple of benefit functions to raise money for the rebuilding of the church. And at one of the masses, a very close friend of mine got a word of knowledge from the Lord. And he said, "Tell Father Kyle that he's a worm, but a loved worm." Beloved, I hope and I trust that the Lord is using me as he reminded me with that word of knowledge that I'm not the fisherman at all. I'm just the worm that he puts on his hook to catch at least one for the kingdom. And in catching that one, he can multiply those 5 loaves and those 2 fish into such a meal, such a banquet, that there's always something left over for the next day. We're going to have that opportunity as we've been gathered. And Jesus will speak to us, as he always does, as he comes among us. And he's going to invite us. Or we're going to rather say to him, stay with us, Lord. It's getting late. Stay with us and eat. And he will. The question is, when we receive what he gives us and consume it, will we be prepared to go where he wants us to go and to do what he asks us to do? Namely, be faithful. Be faithful and trust in the one who has called you to himself. God love you.